We're going to start recording. Go ahead.
Welcome to our exclusive event, The Future of AI in Entertainment, leveraging AITV and Engetic Media for competitive advantages. Today's session isn't just a discussion, it's your opportunity to get ahead of the curve as AI rapidly redefines success in entertainment. Hear from top AI technology and business leaders about why the highest growth opportunities are available to those who move fast. Hi, my name is Philip Molinax. I'm a member of the AITV marketing team. I've been doing online marketing for a long time, back when SEO was stuffing keywords on a page in the same color background as the text, the same color background to get it past Google. Let's just say marketing has come a long way since then. And AI is introducing all new areas that are exploding that advancement and changing the environment. Not long ago, I came to the personal realization that if I didn't start adapting to AI, not only using it myself, but upskilling myself, that I was going to get left behind very quickly. And even the scary part for me was, even with 15 years of experience helping brands online, growing audiences, creating revenue, that's not going to be enough to be successful in the new AI world that's being created. This is why I decided to join AITV and become part of the team, so that I can not only be on the front row, have a front row seat, but be part of the revolution that is coming. With AITV, the future of TV is here. So let's dive in and first meet the founders of AITV and find out what drives them. Let's begin with the introduction of our panelists. Mark is our CEO. Mark is a seasoned technology and executive and serial entrepreneur with a track record of building and exiting 3 global startups acquired by Fortune 500 companies. Mark previously served as managing director at Trident Capital, a Silicon Valley venture capital company, as well as senior vice president of global IT and CIO at Oracle. Dr. Murati is a pioneering entrepreneur in information, communication, and technology with over 44 years of experience. He introduced the world's first rule-based AI practice management software in 1989 and has led innovations across AI, media streaming, and healthcare tech. So what is AITV and what do we do? Mark, let's start with you. If you wouldn't mind sharing with us why you started working with Dr. Murati to start AITV and give us a brief overview of what AITV is.
Yeah, happy to do that, Philip. So Dr. Murati and I got to know each other, met earlier this year, and really spent some time together, discussing where the future of technology in general is going, but specifically around how AI in the broadcast industries and the like will become by definition game changers. And I was incredibly impressed with his background. You just touched on a few points, but he's received U.S. President's Awards for technical excellence. He's been a pioneer in bringing content delivery networks and now ICDN, interactive content delivery, to the market. So his background and the team he has worked with over the years is like no team I've ever seen before. And so we came to the conclusion this is the right time to move forward. And, to answer your question about what is AITV, right? It really merges Web 3.0 infrastructure with AI intelligence and low latency streaming to deliver two-way interactive personalized television. We're really excited about bringing this to market. Our technology allows broadcasters, governments, telcos, smart TV producers, and creators to own their personalized audience relationships and unlock new revenue monetization, which is something where, every company in the broadcast world, is constantly striving for. Back to you, Philip.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Dr. Murati, if you could do the same, give us a brief overview of what brought you and Mark together to create AITV, and at this point, why does it matter? Why is it important?
Well, what brought me back to Mark is He is a esteemed colleague that it brings decades of experience and many pain points that some of us take it for granted. Uh, Remember the days that we all had to ship out CDs and floppies and DVDs to install the software in your machines, to the way that he transformed that Oracle, if you will, into a cloud service that companies like Zoom uses us today to create the interactive experiences for the audience. Along with that, Mark is a esteemed colleague with decades of reputation in Silicon Valley, that he has been catalyst and he embraces the latest, the newest way that it can provide privacy, security, and many variables that him and I shared from our personal attributes and experiences during the decades of work that we have done in parallel universe. So we felt AITV, it's a perfect pathway that we can bring two elements together. Television, which we were all generation of those products, right? And then the Gen A and Gen Z that now they love their large screens and their DVD, all of the streaming, the OTTs and all of these. But more importantly, transforming the connected TV and smart TV that you call smart TV into a new paradigm shift. And that's why we started with the AI TV, that it can serve many segments of the industry, as we have spent decades with different broadcasters, TV networks all around the globe, and take those inclusive knowledge into three factors, what we call human, AI, and technologies, and bring them all together and deliver it to the users and our subscribers in general. Cool. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks for that. It sounds like right place, right time. Love it. So let's go into the section about talking about broadcasting disruption. Let's have an overview and the AI revolution. So Mark, if you could give us a short history lesson on how the broadcast industry has changed over the years and who the disruptors have been.
Yeah, great question, Philip. So, if you look back at the earliest days of broadcast, I think this was late 40s, early 50s, the broadcasters were just bringing for the first time to the marketplace the ability to watch live television and other shows as well. And in order to do that, they had to build relationships with advertisers that would then bring together the revenue streams and the monetization of the process. So that was sort of phase one. The major shift occurred when the internet really started to take off, and we started to be able to deliver content, video-specific content over the internet, which started to change that whole game, right? And from that point to where we are today with the introduction of television and with AI enablement and two-way interactivity, we once again will change the game. But talking about a couple of examples of the disruptions, right, that took place over time, if you look at how Blockbuster was disrupted by Netflix, right? What was Blockbuster? If you remember back, we took a video recording from a Blockbuster storefront, put it into our video recording device at home for our first on-demand TV, right? Well, that started the process of saying, wow, I can watch anytime, anywhere. I have a VCR, if you would, to be able to watch television. But that was a cumbersome process because you had to get it you had to buy it, go to the store, pick it up, bring it back in time to meet your return date for that. So what did Netflix? So what did Netflix do? Netflix changed all that, right? Netflix brought together the ability to on demand stream that directly via the internet, which changed the whole prospect of how one would grab that content and use it, for their personal use, eliminating the need for the storefront, eliminating going to the storefront. So you take all those things into account, and the evolution since, as new players came into the market, like Roku disrupting cable company monopoly or close to monopoly, because you no longer need a cable box in your home. You can now, as long as you have an internet connection, you can now stream directly to the home. So that combination of all these things is causing the continuum of disruption. And we're really excited about how AITV will bring the next generation to that and accelerate that whole process to be a fully different, fully interactive, personalized experience as opposed to the passive one that we experience today. Back to you, Philip.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Mark. And Dr. Murati, can you give us a high level, I mean, there's a lot of information to take in there and trying to understand and put it all together. Can you give us a high level overview of what AITV brings to the table?
Well, AITV is designed in our perspective to become an ecosystem that it serves the global market. Our vision is to, just like your TV network in the old days where you had affiliates, if you will, like NBC New York, NBC Miami, and Los Angeles, right? They all have their own geo IP as a distribution territory, but they are affiliate that they broadcast everything from the content. We looked at that perspective that why not building this in association with groups like Asia Pacific Broadcast Union that we have been working, or European Broadcast Union, or World Broadcast Union, where we can connect all the TVs around the globe, for example, together and have AI agent to deliver content based on rights management, distribution, and so forth to you on your television. So with that, we had to create a new modality, new way of experience, because we came from CDN background. We know what content delivery network is. We came from direct TV background, where we had to bring the signal DTH to the homes. So those experiences, along with the things that we did in Europe and Asia, and working with different brands and advertising agents, they created the experiences that now we can bring an overview of this into a multi-modalities, if you will. And this modality is really serving a segmentational market. For example, OTT guys can adopt the service and create watch parties. CDN guys can create a new customer journey experience. A creative channel, for example, can build channels that they no longer have to worry about their followers are discontinued by social media and their source of revenue is gone and there is nothing else they can do. We looked at these kind of things as pain points, if you will. So at the same time, when you look at content aggregators like Disney or Warner Brothers, they are looking for new client acquisition, mitigate churning, okay, and preserve their subscription base. So therefore, customer journey, advertiser-sponsored programs that it's permission-based rather than stealing their time and just feeding them the feed, okay, whether they like it or not. Creating fraudulent transactions in the monetization matrix. We feel these are all the issues that now we can address in collaboration with different partners as different stages that we are moving forward. Like Mark mentioned, in the early stages, we are working through those networks. So with the CDNs, with the telecoms, with the TV networks and so forth, that we can bring this because through them, they bring it to their audience and everybody creates the experience, and then we can mix them together and connect them all together and create a greater distribution, like a live concert, for example, right? So if you sell a ticket and you're geo IP based and you're only located in that because your objective is to fill in your venue, right, with the tickets and sales, which we have done that many times, including for Sony back in 2021, for the world's first interactive concert. Now you can create that kind of experiences now in real time for your audience. Back to you, Phil.
Fantastic. And the question that came in right before you started addressing that was, how as a content distributor do they make money with AITV? Anything you'd like to add to what Mark, to what Dr. M said, Mark?
Well, I think, you know, it's all a function of their current models and how we could bring additional functionality to, their way of doing business today. But, just simple things like, as Dr. Murati mentioned, being able to move towards understanding that end audience preferences, their likes, dislikes, things that they will or will not want to watch on television relative to, moving from what broadcast advertisers have had to do to date, because it's been one way. They're guessing through Nielsen ratings who the audience is and hoping they get it right. This changes all that. This allows for the first time the option of those advertisers working with the content providers to really have a truly focused, personalized experience for the end users, which enhances monetization across the board.
Makes a lot of sense. The next question that came in kind of fits with this. So I think I'll ask it now. Is a lot of activity, a lot of stuff going on here. How long does it take to implement something like that?
Depending on, go ahead,
yeah.
Mark.
Well, I was just going to feel free to jump in here, Dr. Murati, but I'll preface it with the difference between an Oracle implementation that I had to deal with, which is quite frankly pretty painful because we had a forklift out an existing infrastructure and software package to put ours in place. What we have here is the ability to bring at the top of the tech stack, if you would, level 7, an overlay that simply integrates to what the broadcaster currently has in place, so it minimizes the friction to production, if you would, or the execution stage. Back to you, Dr. M. I think you made other comments.
No, you explained it well. Thank you. Back to you, Philip.
You're on mute, Philip.
Philip, you muted yourself, brother.
It definitely sounds like it's easier to implement today than it was a few years ago. So that's definitely progress. Let's talk about the ultimate differentiator. So Mark, this question's for you. Tell us how we transition and how AITV is taking traditional TV and turning it into an AI-powered interactive experience.
Yeah, I touched on that a minute ago, but to dive into that a little deeper, the bottom line is historically the broadcasters have had to guess who the end audience was through Nielsen ratings and otherwise, and then tried to marry that up with the right ads to send out. The problem was and is 90% of the time we aren't interested in the ads we see. So we either unsubscribe, pay extra to not see ads. If we record something, bypass the ads, et cetera, et cetera. But once you get to where you know that end users' interests, needs, dislikes, et cetera, it changes everything. It puts it in the perspective now of knowledge as opposed to being advertised to, because it's things of interest to that end user that comes into play, which again changes and enhances the whole monetization process for the broadcast and advertising industry collectively.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's definitely a lot to consider, and it all sounds so exciting. So, Dr. Murati, can you walk us through how it all works and kind of what's under the hood at a high level?
In the high level, what we decided to do is, as I mentioned to you, make the technology that underwrites the foundation of AITV into a vendor agnostic service, because as we work with different TV networks around the globe and we work with different institutions, they all have their own infrastructure. For instance, BBC is different than TV France. Their entire network, their entire delivery system, but they're all under federation compliance in Geneva, for example, with EBU, European Broadcast Union. So one of the things we decided to do is embrace the openness of the vendor adaptation. For example, today you may use one AI agent that you may like, but tomorrow another company comes in and gives you a new AI agent that you want to experiment, right? We didn't want to limit you. So we have built this kind of things where you can do multi-view, multi-CDNs, multi-cloud, multi-experiences. But more importantly, normally what we do is when we sit down with a broadcaster, a telecom partners, governments, people that we try to serve to build the policies under ESG model, for example, that you can create data clean rooms where we can bring privacy, security, compliance, regulations based on their designated countries and GeoIP. That creates the framework for the AITV. And that is one of the things that we do in here that it can support by creating the experiences and integration of variation of various programs and protocols and cloud to bring that to the broadcasters that they can serve their audience. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you. A lot, very complex in trying to make it into a simple answer, but also a simple product. So really like that. But what are so Mark, a question for you, or let's look at the broadcasting community specifically. What challenges are they facing with the rapid rise of AI, the broadcasting industry specifically?
Yeah, great. Well, as we're finding out from discussions we're having with executives from, various broadcast unions around the globe, the Asia Broadcast Union, European World Broadcast Union, et cetera, we're finding the reaction is FOMO meets FUD, right? They have a fear of missing out, and they also have a fear and uncertainty about what it means to them in their business. And those two things coupled with their board of directors, and by the way, every board, not just in the broadcast industry, but every major board around the globe are asking their management teams, how are you going to take and leverage AI? Because there's a recognition that if you don't, you're going to get overrun by those that do, right? And if you look at, the past history of, even the Fortune 50, 10 years ago, there's been a 50% plus turnover in who's in the Fortune 50 because of technology changes. AI is just accelerating that at an incredible rate from what, the last 10 years might have done, because every day, every, hour even, we're finding that these AI tools are bringing greater capability and functionality to the marketplace. And because we're, right on top of all of those changes, we will be able to work with the broadcasters and the players that are, bringing this type of service to market to help them on their journey to always stay on the forefront of what's going on and help them to execute, accordingly. Back to you, Philip.
Thank you for that. Definitely sounds like there's a lot of challenges, and hopefully AITV can help people overcome those challenges. So Dr. Murati, what sets AITV apart, and what value does it give to the different sectors in the entertainment industry?
Well, every entertainment industry is looking for different monetization model, if you will. For example, when you look at India, there are 50,000, 60,000 OTT service providers. Okay, what differentiates someone from the other? So one of the things is always about customer journey, and also learning and privatizing and personalizing that user's experience, that it becomes a value centric. That's one of the reasons in this stream that you see on the corner, we have activated the human avatar. Now this human avatar can become a licensed property. For example, we can take from an organization that they license Marilyn Monroe or Elvis Presley and put them right in here. And that becomes your personal avatar. Okay, now it has a knowledge base based on your personalization under what we call LLM, that some of you are familiar with that term, and connect them, let's say, to ChatGPT or search engines for you to find the right video or the right content that you're looking for, but then recognizing that your mood changes, for instance. Okay, there may be good days, there may be bad days, there are days you're sad, but you want to get happy. So the system and AI can create that kind of personalization and interaction with you. More importantly, and that's on the consumer side. Then we talk about user-generated content, where you and I, for example, can get our kids and sit in front of TV and tell a story to the TV and create a script through the AI and make that video available and share it with the rest of like-minded people in our universe. Then you get into the creative channels, where the creative channels, they want to create their own and they want to be connected to their own audience, but they want to create their own monetization. Maybe they want to receive a tip. Maybe they want to sell a download, or maybe they sell a digital assets. All of these things becomes part of that experience, right? And then you get into the content producers like TV networks, where they want to create interactive content as a broadcast, just like reality show when it started, right? Now you can build interactive channel. For instance, if I'm doing a live streaming on a stadium and you're sitting on the couch, Philip, and with your permission, you can click in here and I can capture you and put you on the digital studio of the video wall, and everybody in the stadium can see you.
Wow.
Brought to you by your sponsors, by the way. But more importantly, the more important thing is that we are looking at this as an ecosystem where the government, policymaker, regulators, they can collaborate, and we can bring good AI into the use of humanity, and we can put it into use where human controls it, technology drives it, and AI facilitates. Back to you, Philip.
That's really exciting. It's that taking that concept of two-way interactive and taking it just from asking an AI something to creating your own story and being able to share that with friends and family. That's going to make some memories. I'm
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate that, guys. Let's take a question from the audience here again. Let me grab one. A couple of them here. Let me try to pick the best one. So with this, Mark, we'll direct this one at you. Does AITV have any current competitors, or what is the competition in the space for a company like AITV look like?
Well, a great question. Bottom line is, everybody in the marketplace, as I mentioned, are being asked this question about how they're going to leverage AI going forward. It's important to understand that our firm is a B2B player, not a B2C player. We do not want to own the end customers. We want to partner and work with the businesses that are delivering to those end customers. The reason for that is, quite frankly, we don't want to become competitors to our partners in terms of delivering in the end stage of this. But to that end, the bottom line is our relationships are one where we will build upon with the partnerships that we're forming, the ability to bring forward the technology, the patented technology that we have that will allow them to stay one step ahead of their competitors, which addresses the FOMO issue while at the same time addressing the FUD issue, because we have the skills, we have the team, we have the management experience, like, quite frankly, no management team I've ever experienced in my venture capital days, where I looked at thousands of startups. This team has got all the skills, the broadcast background, the enterprise software background, the scaling background, to bring together what these large players really need to be successful going forward. Back to you, Phil.
Thanks for that, Mark. And touching on the management team, that's something from a marketing perspective I'm really excited to be able to share with the audience and through marketing, to get to know some of these other people. I mean, we've got the two founders with you two that are amazing and have incredible backgrounds, but that's just two members of the team, and it's going to be really exciting to introduce everyone to those other members of the team. So definitely looking forward to that.
Those are your webisodes. coming at the theaters near you, right?
Exactly. Those will be in coming weeks, and we'll go through at that point and share, the different elements in the room and the functionality that I'm really excited to share as well. Now let's talk about how we can turn these trends into someone's advantage before the competition does. And to me, that really is how do you get involved with AITV? So, Mark, what clear, actionable steps can creators, brands, and tech leaders take today to partner with AITV and start earning?
Well, this webinar series we're doing is a way to inform, to bring information, because quite frankly, we recognize everybody's got to proceed on the journey as their priorities and their firms see best fit, and addressing the pain points in the order that they have. And so part of our discovery process is to understand their current pain points. And by the way, as you know, Philip, from the marketing side, we use AI. We eat our own dog food. We use AI to help understand our clients' issues, by doing things like reviewing their SEC filings that talk about their challenges, their roadmap, et cetera, et cetera. So when we walk into a discussion, we're coming with knowledge of what their issues are, not having to sit there, which used to drive me crazy in my Oracle days when I'd get asked by a sales team, well, what are your problems, right? The bottom line is we want to validate that in the discovery process and refine it in the discussions we would have with those partners that we would go to market and help bring forward the solution with. So it's think of it as discovery followed by an onboarding phase where we are basically that will terminate in an acceptance test, which will then allow us to move towards the implementation phase of the relationship.
So it really sounds like it's not a one-size-fits-all product, but it's customizable to the specific needs of the brands.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
That is one of the reasons that when we are working with the network, we always have an onboarding session. We have to understand their pain point, their aspiration, their requirements, and what kind of topology and technology they are running. And then we made this technology, AITV, extremely adaptive. So they don't have to change their CDN, for example. Okay, so they can bring their content immediately right in here and create a watch party and create that experience for the holiday season, and then make that available to their advertisers and subscribers through a simple QR. Buy this, get a room. The movie is on us. Buy a pizza, get this, right? All of these kind of things becomes part of that experience that otherwise would not been available on a regular passive TV. So those are some of the changes that you will begin to see as transformation comes in, including experience with the metaverses, okay, the XR, the VRs, and so forth. All of these, when you bring them from your television set to your desktop, to your mobile devices, and you can seamlessly travel, so you're not cornered just by the television. These are the vision that we are bringing together collectively and serving the consumers and the broadcasters in general.
Thank you for that. Definitely provides some context and some understanding. Kind of as a final question, and Dr. Marati, we'll pitch this to you. Why is it important to act now if you're in broadcasting or in the entertainment industry?
Well, Mark eloquently explained that. It's really, if you don't, you miss out. It's like that simple, okay? So if you want to be in the last mile, then welcome aboard. Stay there till everybody catches up. If you want to be on the forefront and be part of what we call AITV, love it, live it, then you got to join us, right? So we are cordially inviting you to bring us, to show you, demonstrate, have a session with you, understand your requirements, and help you to tailor that, powered by human expertise, like Mark and I bring decades of experience and know-how, including you, Philip, and the rest of the team that we have assembled already. And it's growing by leaps and bounds, but at the same time, it's the understanding that we are here to do one thing, to serve our clients at different modalities and layers, range from government all the way to the user's experience. Back to you, Philip.
I thank you for that. Definitely appreciate that. And at this point, I definitely encourage anyone that's got any questions that haven't been answered, or has questions of whether or not AITV would be a good fit for their own brand's evolution, to get in contact with us today, and we can set up a one-on-one conversation and kind of take things from there.
Absolutely.
Yep. Point to your QR code on your screen there that they can grab right now.
Yeah, that QR code is there, that you can actually scan it, and it takes you to the contact page where you can request a copy of this recording, as well as set up and schedule that one-on-one appointment. That was also dropped in the chat during the session at several points, so you can find it there as well.
Thank you.
I think we'll end the recording there and see what we can do splicing it together, because